My name is Ian Jondu. I'm the executive chef here at the City of Liverpool College. I'm responsible for the academy restaurants and the food that we produce for the restaurants with level 2 and level 3 students. Today, I'm going to do a demonstration on something that we all take for granted as being something very easy to do: egg cookery, and in particular poached eggs. Now, the eggs that we've got, and these are not stale eggs, the best eggs you can get are eggs that are 2 or 3 days old. Unfortunately, we don't get them at that stage here when they come in. They may be a week, a few days. That doesn't mean because an egg's 1, maybe 2 weeks old that it can't be used. It just means it's not as fresh as for something like poaching. So I've got some eggs here. I'm going to show how we poach the egg, depoach, and then how the egg is stored before we use it. Now, to do that, I'm going to use some ice water to storage, and then we'll finish a dish with a toasted muffin. We'll do something based on a classical Florentine where we would normally use spinach. But instead of using spinach today, I'm going to use a little bit of kale, wilted down and seasoned, and you will see the finished products. So, I'm now going to, I've got a pan of water here, a deep pan of water that's simmering away. I'm going to put a little bit of white wine vinegar in. Now the vinegar is an acid. The acid is going to help the protein of the egg white coagulate. In other words, it will help it set. And to do that, before I do that set, I'm going to whisk the water now. This may seem a little bit strange, but most chefs will tell you by creating what's called a vortex. Imagine when you empty your sink at home and the water spins and goes down the drain. This is what you're doing. This is swirl, is to keep the egg in one place. So now we've got our egg, put it straight in. I'm just going to do the one egg. You'll notice I'm holding the dish over. Right? If I was to pour the egg and lift the dish up straight away, this is what creates that stringy effect. You've got a little bit of that here, but that can be trimmed off. So I'm just going to poach the one egg for now. It's going to take about 2 to 3 minutes. I want the yolk obviously to be soft and the white to be firm. I've got some ice water ready. So let that poaching off. And this is something that you'll probably find in a lot of restaurants will still do. You know, young chefs learn how to poach eggs. It's very popular, not just for breakfast, but for starter dishes, or even as a garnish. Quite often on the level 3, we will do a poached egg that is then panéed, which means obviously flour, egg, wash and breadcrumbs, and then that's deep fried and used as a garnish for whatever dish we're using. So now that still needs a little bit longer. Okay. Notice if you've got, the reason we've got 2 more eggs done, quite often you can put an egg in and it's too stringy and you think, no, that's not the perfect egg. It's not what we want, so you'll do another one. But this one should be okay. I've also, while we're waiting for the egg to do, I've blanched a little bit of kale. Now normally it'd be spinach. On this occasion, all the spinach was used this morning, so I'm going to use a little bit of kale. It's been blanched 2 minutes or so. I'm going to put a little bit of butter, salt, pepper, season that up. That will go on the muffin in place of spinach. Traditionally, an egg Florentine is with spinach. And then I've got a little bit of Mornay sauce made. We put some Mornay sauce on, and that will go under the grill. We say grill, but really it's a salamander. So now, I can take this egg. We've got a nice poached egg. The white's firm, yolk is nice and soft. Straight into ice water. So that's the egg done. Easily done. If I was doing more, obviously, I do follow the same procedure. I could put 2 in at a time, so it poaches a little bit quicker. But just for demonstration purposes, we've got a nice poached egg already. So now to put this, we're going to put this dish together. I've got half muffin that I'm toasting lightly. Toasted muffin, put a little bit of butter on. In the meantime, I'm going to take the egg that we poached earlier. I've got some simmering water, put a little bit of salt in that water, not vinegar, This is fresh water, not vinegar water, because we don't want that taste of vinegar. But the salt in water, boiling salted water is known as a chauffant. It's what we use to reheat vegetables, egg, several items. So we've got that on. So now we take our egg, put that straight into the water. Okay, so we won't use that again now. In this pan, I've got some spinach, some kale that's been wilted. And a bit of butter after being blanched, a bit of salt, a little touch of pepper. And like with spinach, kale is very similar. We can use just a little bit of nutmeg, enhances that flavour. Okay, so we move that around. So that's warm, it's ready. Our egg is nearly ready. Just want it to be nice and hot. And at the back here now, we've got some Mornay sauce. Mornay sauce, basic bechamel, cheese added. We've got our muffin. So we'll take the muffin. We'll take a little bit of butter, a little bit of butter on, just so we put a good bit of butter so that will soak in. We want it to be rich. It's restaurant wear. Okay, so now we'll do it here. We know our egg is ready, so we'll take our egg and we'll take the egg out and I'll leave it on the spoon and just put it on a J cloth. Right, so that will just dry out a little bit more. Rather than me put it onto the J cloth fully, I'll take a little bit of the kale straight on. Okay. So now we've got our egg. We're going to place our egg on like so. Take our Mornay sauce. Now, there's two ways we can do this. I can put the Mornay sauce straight on now, place it under the salamander for it to glaze, or I can take a serving dish, place it in a serving dish, we can take our sauce, and then we're going to nappe. Nappe means to mask the egg. We'll just coat in. Any more than that. Now to finish this off, we take it over to the grill, put on a tray. Now if we want to gratinate, we can put some cheese or some breadcrumbs, that's gratination. If you want to glaze, we would put an egg yolk, maybe a little touch of cream into the mixture, the Mornay sauce mix, so that we get a glaze effect. But for a basic Florentine, what we've done there, and what you've seen me do, we let that heat up now, and that'll be ready to serve. We're not going to put any glaze on it. I'm not putting any other extra cheese on. The cheese, got a lot of cheese already in the sauce. We'll get that nice and hot. And then obviously when it goes out into the restaurant, we make sure that the customer is aware that the plate is hot. All right, so let's move that around, get it nice and hot. A minute. And in the restaurant here, we have on every menu for lunch for the level 2 students, and we have some level 1 students coming in also. We always have an egg dish on so they can see it. Okay, so now we can say finish that. We haven't gratinated it, we've not put anything else on. We can put a little bit, we can sprinkle a little bit of smoked paprika on, or a little bit more chives. Chives again is something that's got a little bit extra mild onion flavour. But that's a very simple version of a poached egg dish using Florentine. Obviously we're using kale instead of spinach. And that's the finished